Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC, offers more value than any other good full-service real estate brokerage firm when it comes to the sale of your home. We offer at least 27 things that contribute to your home selling in the least amount of time at the highest price. To receive our free home selling pamphlet, email us at info@brooksanddavis.com or call 713-665-8329. We also assist people who want to purchase homes or who are interested in getting their real estate license. Visit us at www.brooksanddavis.com.
Welcome, everyone, to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. It's a pleasure to be here again with you this week. I'm your host, Rick Davis, and as always, I'm here with my co-host, author, real estate broker, and serial entrepreneur, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. I want to urge everyone to take this opportunity. If you don't already follow us on social media, you can follow myself on Instagram and Facebook at Prime Real Estate Rick. If you are in need of real estate information, if you would like to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, I urge everyone to stop by our website at brooksanddavis.com. Leave us your contact information, and we will be in contact with you promptly. It's a great day to be here. It's a great day to tune into the Prime Real Estate Network. I urge all of our viewers now, if you know any young entrepreneurs, business professionals, salespeople, or professional networkers, please tag them and share this episode with them, because today you will have access and the opportunity to not only ask questions, but also hear from one of the leading business leaders in this greater Houston area. This gentleman not only serves as the president of Houston L.E.A.D, but he's been working in this market for more than a decade, and he is more than responsible for connecting business people, entrepreneurs, and new business professionals. But before we get to our guests, I want to turn it over to my co-host, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. How are you doing, Larry?
I'm good, Rick. Hey, good people. It's great to be in front of you again. You can find me on every platform. Larry W. Brooks is the website, or you can go to Texas Real Estate King, and it's on IG, and there are plenty of other platforms. But I'm excited to be in front of everyone again today, Rick, and I'm excited about our guest. Our guest is a personal friend of mine, and the things that he's doing throughout the city and the way that he's changing entrepreneurs' lives when it comes to the way that they network and do business is amazing. So today I'm excited that he'll be able to share some of those things with you guys, and if you're unaware of who he is, by the end of this show you will know.
And without any further ado, I would like to introduce the Prime Real Estate Network podcast audience to the president of Houston L.E.A.D, Mr. R.D. Yoder. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, good. Thank you for having me.
Man, I thank you for carving out some time in your busy schedule to sit down with us today, so thank you again.
Yeah, I was telling Larry just a little while ago that I literally drove in from League City, so I'm always on the go.
Yeah. No, it's super funny because and when I'm in and around town, I always meet new professionals, entrepreneurs, and they're always like, Rick, can you give me some connections? Can you tell me some people to reach out to? How can I get started building a business in this town? Because when you're new and you just start, it almost seems like a super grandiose project. It's like you don't know where to start, you don't know where to build your platform. So that's why I feel like it's so important for us to have someone like yourself with your knowledge and expertise on the show. So I want to thank you again.
You're welcome. One of the things I tell people, first of all, is if you exhibit servant leadership and you try to help other people first, I'll give you the opportunities that you crave and deserve after building those relationships. I really teach that to our members and those business professionals and even students in the school system, reaching out and seeing how they can serve others first, and the reciprocation will come along.
And anyone who's ever been to the Houston L.E.A.D website is aware of the fact that the word LEAD is an acronym.
Yeah.
Can you please break down for our viewers what that acronym stands for?
Well, first of all, it stands for Lead Exchange, Lead Exchange and Discussion, and Development, So lead exchange and development. The reason why we wanted to use the acronym LEAD is we wanted our members to become leaders. Okay,
Right.
so we don't want just people in passing. We don't want people just become wallflowers or not participate or anything like that. We want them to emerge as leaders. So regardless of your of your industry, your slot, where you stand in the food chain, if you will,
Right.
we want to give everybody the opportunity. So we want to create leaders in our community. Thus the name LEAD.
Can you tell myself and audience a little bit about the Houston L.E.A.D, about members, how long you guys have been in existence, and what it is that you guys help your members out with?
Yeah, my background is pretty extensive in networking and development. We actually started out working with we formed an organization called MSA, which stood for Membership Services of America. We went around the country working with chambers and business development organizations ranging in size from 50 to 100 to 6,000 plus. A lot of travel time. I think one month I was on for 27 days on the road. And
Wow.
so I had a younger family at the time. I said, well, if we can help people on the road, we can certainly do it in our own backyard. So we decided, we'll do it here in the Houston area. Houston's a great marketplace. For those of you who are not familiar with the Houston marketplace right now, we're top 20 global.
Wow.
Not just
Yeah.
top 20 United States, but top 20 global. So we came back home and formed the organization Houston Networking News. Our original intentions and design were just for the Houston Networking News website to be a site for information and promoting all the various activities around the greater Houston area. So we put all this information out together. We listed all these events and organizations. We had 300 plus. This was in 2003.
Oh, wow.
And rolled it out and said, okay, we're gonna get rich off all this and everything like that. Well, first week we had 5 subscribers, and I'm like, okay, I'm pausing for effect here. I know we're on video and audio. I was like, oh my goodness, what are we gonna do? I was like, well, we better have a launch event.
Yeah.
So we had a launch event, and I realized that this is a way to go. So I'm like, okay, if we have anybody that'll show up, this is a way for us to get the marketing out, the promotion, and so forth. So we had a networking event. Well, our event started at 5 or 5:30. I can't remember the time now. But an hour prior to the event, we had people lined up to come to the event.
Wow.
And so we took that. We built upon it. People kept asking, when's the next event? Like, we had no intention of having subsequent events. Well, an evening event became a luncheon, became a breakfast, became an organization. And 5 years ago, we formed the organization Houston L.E.A.D, which are our networking groups. They're sheer development groups that focus on networking, training, and peer advisory.
In doing research for your interview, I was astounded at the size of the organization that you lead.
Yeah.
I think as a person who was aware of the organization, Mr. Brooks is a member. We've been networking events before. I didn't understand how large of a network you lead. So for our viewers, could you explain the size of your organization?
Our size is a little bit different from traditional networking groups. There's organizations and groups out there that focus on building these massive groups. And I like to keep ours in a tight range because we want to make sure nobody's left behind. If anybody has an issue or a challenge or needs sales and development and so forth, we don't want anybody to be left behind. I've heard people over the years tout success like, 95% of our members got business. Mm-hmm. I think that's actually somewhat of a success, but also a failure on the organization's part. We want to make sure that all of our members receive business. So we have 20 chapters in the greater Houston area. We launched a couple more in the last 3 weeks. We're launching another one in the Woodlands.
Oh, wow.
I have offers and feelers out and requests and inquiries right now from, oh gosh, I'm trying to think where the last ones were, but all the major cities in Texas for sure, but also Baltimore, Washington, D.C., New York, L.A., Chicago, places like that. I just have to decide at this point in my career how far we want to extend back out into the marketplace. But a good range for us for a chapter size is about 30 people. Okay. That allows people to step into the meetings and be served where their needs are being met. All too many times we have a lot of people out there who are not being served because they're kind of being left behind, and then they get transitioned and cycled out.
The thing is that we're really blessed here on this podcast to have one of your leading advocates actually on the show.
Oh, this guy here?
Okay. No, so because, of course, when I travel and I meet people, they ask me questions about Larry. Oh man, gosh, you love your show. I've seen Mr. Brooks around, but I haven't had a chance to speak with him. And the reason why I feel like it's so great to have him on the show as an advocate for your group is because he can talk to sort of the benefits of membership. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Brooks, please talk to our audience about some of the membership benefits that you've enjoyed.
Well, yeah, the thing is that what's ideal about it is that there's different professionals in each area of business, but there's only one. So the ideal is that as we go in and we grow together, one of the things that we do I'm a member of the L.E.A.D breakfast chapter. Okay. And so one of the things that we do when we go in, we give each other edification as we come in, we talk, and we give each other positive advice on rebuttals when it comes to dealing with our clients. But even more, we talk about when we're there that morning, why we're there. We're there to, of course, fellowship with each other, but then we're there to exchange leads. We're there to help each other's business grow. And so that's one of the main things that we do in our chapter, in the chapters that I visited beforehand. Because I've been a member of the L.E.A.D about 4 years, but beforehand I knew RD because I had been to different luncheons and things of that matter. So it goes a little bit further than just our weekly meetings, that we actually have big events that take place as well that we all go to, that all of the chapters get together and fellowship at Ric. So it's an amazing thing. Like you would not imagine if you're not a part of an organization like that, you most definitely got to find something that you got peers that's in different industries that can give you different advice, that can give you different things that's in their business that could possibly work for yours. Because if I'm just sitting around with real estate brokers all day long, then I'm going to understand what's going on in real estate. But what about the mortgage partners that I have? What about someone that's in IT? Right. We have a member that's in IT, and he does a lot of business development on the back end for businesses to streamline a lot of the things that they don't need to do. Right. And so how about if I didn't have a partner like that, or wasn't going into a meeting with someone like that, then I'll be missing out on things. So that's one of the most powerful things that we offer or that we receive.
But of course, you're Larry Brooks, author, serial entrepreneur. So of course you'll find benefits. That. But if you're new, let's say you're a newly licensed real estate agent, you'd have no book of business. Explain to those people why it's imperative to join this type of organization from the very beginning.
Oh, no doubt about it. Well, the thing is that ideally you don't have any book of business. So now you're sitting down, and what we do for new members, we do what's called one-on-one. So every week you're assigned a different one-on-one with a different member that's a part of the organization. And so as you do your one-on-ones, one of the things that you're learning is, the way that they present their business, some of the things that's structured inside their business that allow them to network. And so the thing is as you're meeting with these people, you're picking up some of those same substances. And along with that, we believe in giving our lead partners leads. Right, so if I'm sitting down and I'm meeting with you, you're putting what we call skin in the game, because we're putting face to face, and so that's one of the best way to build warm leads versus me not knowing you, me meeting you at a networking event one time. Well, we're meeting weekly, so we're sharing things about, hey, how's going, everything, what's a positive thing that took place in your life. So your daughter might have had a birthday, or your daughter, a good friend of mine, Kip Edwards, that we had on the show. His daughter is awesome when it comes to gymnastics. She wins awards day in and day out. He and I are members of the L.E.A.D breakfast chapter together. And so one of the things that came away from that, I learned about so many things about his family personal. So when it comes to me sending my title business to him, it's an easy decision, right? So,
and this question is for you, RD. As far as reaching out to young professionals, new entrepreneurs, what type of outreach does your organization provide to try to reach out to people who may not have been aware of the organization or their need to be a part of an organization like yours?
Oh, I tell them to go move back in with their parents and just stay in school for this. No, I was quoting a line from a movie. I forget what it was. I think it was Rodney Dangerfield gave that bad advice. He just said,
he's like, move back in with your folks.
Move back in with your folks. It's a cruel world. It's a cruel world out there.
Don't grow up.
Yeah, I know. Back to School is the movie.
Yeah.
Right. One thing that I want to harp on this is the fact that if you're out there, first, the the first thing you really need to focus on is taking that first step.
Right.
That's where a lot of our young people really miss the boat. So we've mentored and worked with people. In fact, I was part of a program called FMLA, which is FMLI. I'm thinking about taking some time off there. It was the Future Mentor Leader Initiative at the University of Houston Bauer College, and so we worked with MBA students as well as undergrads. And what we found is when we mentor a lot of these folks, that they didn't know, they weren't being taught how to network. So the first thing you have to do is really have the willingness to take that first step. And I teach this to our people who visit our meetings all the time. I can't really help you until you take that first step. So I encourage you, don't worry about failing, because you are going to fail. Okay, it's what you do afterwards with that failure that makes you who you are today and for the future. So I encourage our young entrepreneurs, our young professionals, whether you're in sales or development and so forth, that's going to build your character. It's going to build who you are. Take that first step. Do your research. Find out organizations. Find out the sincerity. If you need to, go visit with people. Talk with folks. If they're not willing to sit down with you and talk to you, or they're not willing to show you how things work and so forth, you might want to question whether you're in the right place or not. So we actually, when we have visitors that come into our meetings, who are expressing interest in what we're doing, we actually send them an assessment form in advance where we can actually understand their needs that they have and how we can help them out.
You know, funny thing, RD, and I don't know if I even told you this, but
by the way, I still have your assessment form
do you?
from years ago. That's right.
You know, the funny thing is, so also at the meetings, we do what we consider kind of like an elevator pitch. At the beginning of every meeting, everyone goes around, and at my location, and everyone goes around, we do what's considered like an elevator pitch. Well, I use mine to win a $500 trip to NSN event, National Conference, right?
Oh, wow.
And it's based on exactly what we talk about in the morning meetings. That same spiel, I gave it, and they loved it, and I won a membership. I just want to plug that because I don't know if I've had a chance to tell you that, but yeah, I'm based off of the structure that you have there.
We have all these acronyms that we use and everything like that. And use the lead. One that I know people might find this amusing or not. We actually we used a BARF acronym where people were kind of just throwing all their information all over everybody. One of the best things you can do is actually be two greatest tools that you have are right here. If you listen to people and ask questions, that's one of the best things that you can do.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've always been intrigued about as far as doing my research into your personal background professionally and socially. You have built a lot of your business platform on service, mentorship, and inspiring the youth. My question for you is, how often do the young people that you mentor ask you about your personal history?
All the time. I mean, people looking for testimonials and good news. In fact, one of the things that we incorporate into our meeting agendas are good news moments. If you turn on the news, I guarantee my background was in the radio as well. I mean, I was telling you guys earlier that I worked, and I would literally watch my producer and some of the other folks that we worked with read a ticker and throw away the good stuff and go to the stuff that was sensational. So people want to hear about the good news moments. So we actually incorporate that into our agendas.
Yeah.
So share your good news.
Because the thing I wanted to do today, and if you wouldn't mind, when we come back from this break, I would like for you to go a little bit into your background.
Okay.
Some of the things that you would talk to a new mentee about. Where you started at, who were some of your inspirations, who inspired you, who were the person or the people who gave you the keys to unlock your future. So if you wouldn't mind, I would appreciate that after the break. I urge everyone to stay tuned into the Prime Real Estate Network. We're going to take a short break to hear a message from our sponsor, and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC, offers more value than any other good full-service real estate brokerage firm when it comes to the sale of your home. We offer at least 27 things that contribute to your home selling in the least amount of time at the highest price. To receive our free home selling pamphlet, email us at info@brooksanddavis.com or call 713-665-8329. We also assist people who want to purchase homes or who are interested in getting their real estate license. Visit us at www.brooksanddavis.com.
Welcome back to the Prime Real Estate Network. I'm your host, Rick Davis. I urge everyone to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Prime Real Estate Rick. Once again, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Prime Real Estate Rick. I want to thank all of our supporters and everyone who's taken the time to go to iTunes and Google Play to subscribe to our audio podcast and leave us a 5-star rating. For those who haven't had the opportunity to do that, we really urge you to do that. And Larry and myself would really appreciate you leaving a really kind review and a 5-star rating. But back to our interview, and today our special guest here on the Prime Real Estate Network is the president of Houston L.E.A.D, Mr. R.D. Yoder. Before the break, R.D., we were talking a little bit about your organization, your platform as far as mentorship and public service. We were going to go into a little bit about your background, and if you wouldn't mind, could you give us an idea of where you started and how you actually were able to evolve to where you are today?
I could go back. How far you may go back to when I was a baby, or
to your first memory?
My first memories. Oh man, yeah. See, I remember walking down the street, and there was. I told my mom, like, I'm afraid of that dog. That's too far. That's too far back. Okay.
That's too far back.
No, my background. I always had an interest in journalism and writing, and I actually was a sports editor in high school and college, but I always liked helping people and serving people, and I moved more into development roles. School and beyond, and then this became as a natural progression. And just like, I love what we're doing. I like helping people, and I really like the fact that we've seen just people grow in their professional careers as well as grow in their personal lives. So, if I had to, you mentioned about some of the people who I looked up to. My father had a strong influence in my life. We did a lot of hunting and fishing together. He was always there for me. Professionally, my business partner, Mike Mangan, he's always been there, and we've always had a good relationship. I'm more on the creative side. He's more on the management type. So he's on the management side. So we've actually had a good balance. I encourage people, if they're in partnerships, have a good balance with their people that they're working with. There's a couple of local people here also. I remember this is years ago. There's a gentleman who's retired now, Dick Huebner, who headed up the Houston Minority Business Council, which is now the Houston Minority Supplier Development Council. He was always had an open door, always willing to help other people. And then probably the most famous one, outside of Jesus, of course, was Zig Ziglar. I really loved Zig, and I thought Zig did everything with honesty and with integrity and genuinely cared about people and how they performed.
And I've had the opportunity to study Zig Ziglar as well. And the thing that I think is unique about your professional background is that you've chosen a career in leadership.
Yeah.
From everything that we've discussed, I feel comfortable in the fact that when you made that career choice, you may not have defined it as a career in leadership, but that's what you've evolved into. So my question for you is that, do you feel like that is more of a learned trait, or is it a trait that you feel like you were born with?
People say that. I knew that you're about to say born leader. And are we born leaders? I don't, man, that's such a tough subject. But you know what? I know one thing. If you're born, even if there is such thing as a born leader, you can become a better leader by surrounding yourself by the right people. I am a strong proponent of having a good circle and a sphere of influence around you.
Yeah.
I've shared this with some of our business people, and this is one of my weaknesses. But I have a propensity for kind of dragging people across the finish line at times. Well, I did. As we've retooled the model and gone further, and I want to give our leaders the opportunity to lead. So I have leadership teams in our chapters, and we want to give them opportunity to succeed and to fail. And I kind of scare some of our leaders when I tell them I want to give them opportunity to fail, because part of failure comes your testimony, and it comes also your success stories.
That's right.
You can't succeed without failing. I mean, I've never seen anybody who has a perfect business career.
Batting 1,000 in business. No one bats 1,000
unless they're in Vegas and they're doing something shady, right?
No, it's funny because I want to reveal to our audience some of the things that we talk about off air. So before we before we started the pod, you and Larry were having a discussion about membership, and I wanted to stop you all because I was like, that'll be perfect for Larry's Mythbuster for this week. So without giving it away, Larry, could you go into a little bit of the conversation you and RD were having.
Here comes
And
the keto stuff,
as far
right?
as no, because it's the part of our show where we have our real estate myth buster, and it's something that I think was so powerful. And Larry and RD were having this conversation. I was like, no, save it for the show.
Yeah.
So please, Larry.
Well, the thing is, and I'm gonna let RD elaborate on it. But RD, what is one of the myths that you think that comes from people that go to networking events?
Okay, here's where I'm about to tick off a lot of the guys, and I'm specifically going to say guys. So there's a myth out there, and this is my opinion. Everything does not reflect the opinions in this show. Okay, but there's a myth out there that men are better networkers than women. My personal opinion, okay, I'm not trying to get brownie points with the ladies. Sorry, you see my ring here. I think that a lot of the women that we come into contact with are more relational. Okay, now I've been all over the country and we've traveled outside the borders of the United States as well. But the women are very relational. Okay, and so we have some guys that are hard chargers and they're like elephants in the China in the China room. So we have some of those guys. We have some guys that are really reserved. But what we found is that the women are relational. A lot of them are nurturers. And I know the ladies who are listening here, and I'm not trying to delve into gender battles or anything like that, but we found that a lot of the ladies that we work with really care about the people that they're working with. Not to say the guys don't, but in my opinion, some of the ladies that we worked with, and we worked with thousands and thousands of networkers over the years, the women are good at nurturing and building relationships, and I think in a lot of instances, depending on what the case may be, but as far as sheer networking, I think that the women hold the upper hand a little bit. I'm sure I'm going to offend some guys out there and say, "Oh, you're crazy." Like, nah, so be it. We'll talk about it another time.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because after we had a conversation about that at one of our meetings, I really thought about it and I started observing it as I went to different networking events, and I would agree with you.
Yeah. You see a lot of ladies who will step in and try to help. But the beauty about networking is everybody can. If you're not the good nurturer, you can actually, if you're a guy who's not good at that, you can actually partner with that person who is that. Mm-hmm. So part of our strengths is knowing our weaknesses and then partnering up with people who can help you.
No, because this is officially a shout out to all the young professional business women in and around the greater Houston area. Please come out to one of the Houston L.E.A.D networking events. Get involved because there are a lot of great women that are members of the organization that serve with the same platform as you, RD, with service, mentoring, that type of thing.
Yeah, we have a healthy balance of women and women and men leaders.
And the thing that's super interesting, and I want to make sure we don't end this episode without letting everyone know about your upcoming events, where they may be able to meet you, and how they may be able to get in contact with you to become a member and join the organization.
I'd say the first step, though, and we talked about assessing and so forth, but the first step for anybody listening or watching would be to visit the website. It's HoustonL.com. We also own HoustonL.net. That's a good place to find out about all the meetings that we're having. We're actually planning out the remainder of the year for our activities and events. The flexibility that we have and the beauty about our organization is that we like to do all kinds of stuff. In fact, we're going to do something a little offbeat here in a couple weeks. It's one of our most popular ones. I got to drag Larry out here because he has a singing voice. We're actually doing something called Karaoke and Connections. It'll be on October 18th. Man, we had such a fun time. I love the fact that our groups and our chapters build camaraderie outside of the meetings. Now, while we focus on networking, training, and peer advisory in the group settings, and it's structured there, there's also friendships that have developed outside the meetings. We've had chapters who've gone out and done laser tag, who've done Top Golf, all kinds of things. And we have some of our folks that are going to be working on a community project, helping the homeless and feeding them once a month. But it's also they're going to be doing donations, clothing, materials, all these different things like that. So we consider, Larry's heard me say this numerous times, but we consider our LEAD organization as the LEAD family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we're planning out our fall activities as well as the winter ones. So we're going to have some Christmas activities. We're have a Thanksgiving luncheon. For that keto folks, they can eat. I don't know what they eat, but they're going to eat whatever they want. So we have a lot of activities, but a good starting point would be go to the website. You can also fill out some contact fields, and we can reach out to you. We would love to send you an assessment form that helps us to understand exactly what you need. Too many times we're trying to sell somebody something as opposed to trying to understand exactly what they need. So we like to ask questions. What's your experience? What are you looking for? How can we help you out?
Exactly.
So we take the reverse approach as opposed to saying, here, buy.
No, and I urge
I
everyone.
think it was a song, wasn't it?
Please,
Bye,
Mark
bye.
See, I tell
October
you,
the
he's
18th on your calendar.
He's ready for karaoke.
He's
No,
in that
I'm
voice.
telling you, because October the 18th, not only will you have an opportunity to meet Mr. R.D. Yoder, but you'll have an opportunity to watch Mr. Larry W. Brooks sing.
Uh-oh.
Big fan. I'm telling you, I already
But come
got my
anyway.
song.
Anyway, so I want to personally thank you, RD, for appearing on our show today. I think you provided invaluable information and can serve as an invaluable resource for a lot of our viewers as well as listeners.
Well, thank you very much. I did want to mention that real quick, and I know we're short on time, but we are starting a real estate chapter. You guys are near and dear to my heart, so we're going to be launching that here in a couple weeks. We've already got some of the invitations out. It'll be at the fabulous House of Blues.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing it big.
Count me in.
Yeah, there you go.
Count me in, absolutely. Mr. Brooks, I wanted you to have an opportunity to talk to the audience about any upcoming events where you'll be appearing. And
Well, guys, of course, you know, you can always find me. Or just go to my website, LarryWBrooks.com. Follow me on your social media platform, Facebook.com/Texas Real Estate King, and I'll keep you informed. But other than that, Rick, you know, I'm just excited. You know, I'm excited that we have another podcast that's been set up today. I think that RD brought some intangible information. So it was good.
I want to publicly congratulate you on the success of the Entrepreneur Code.
Thank you, sir.
Entrepreneur Code book.
Yeah, we had an amazing event on last Friday.
No, I've been getting a lot of positive feedback. I know a lot of times when you're promoting your own book, you're a little busy.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
just know that the public has been giving positive feedback. I get a lot of messages in my inbox and text messages to my phone. So I want to
Yeah.
congratulate you on the success of the
Oh,
book.
and of course, if you haven't gotten a copy of that, it's also now. Let me go ahead and plug that. It's also you can.
Wait, Larry's
you can go to
plugging
Larry
something?
W, I know, right? You can go to LarryWBrooks.com. You'll see a link where you can purchase the hard copy of the book, and it's also on Kindle. So if you're one that reads from your phone or you read from one of your Kindle devices, you can take a look at it that way as well.
No problem. I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Prime Real Estate Network podcast this week. Once again, I urge everyone to subscribe to the audio podcast on iTunes or Google Play. You can find us at the Prime Real Estate Network. If you would like to see the video version of our past episodes, you can subscribe to the Prime Real Estate Network on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. So I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Prime Real Estate Network. We have a really exciting episode coming up for you guys next week. I urge you all to tune in. And once again, thank you for checking out the Prime Real Estate Network.
Thank you.
Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC, offers more value than any other good full-service real estate brokerage firm when it comes to the sale of your home. We offer at least 27 things that contribute to your home selling in the least amount of time at the highest price. To receive our free home selling pamphlet, email us at info@brooksanddavis.com or call 713-665-8329. We also assist people who want to purchase homes or who are interested in getting their real estate license. Visit us at www.brooksanddavis.com.